The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
And joining me now to talk this week in Groove Guide, it is Sam Wicks, editor of Groove Guide. G'day there, Sam.
G'day.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Last week you were saying you were going to be heading off to Homegrown in Wellington.
Yeah, I made the
that?
trip down, and it's an interesting festival, man. I mean, it's very much a sort of corporate exercise. Obviously, they've got to make something like that pay. And so there's...
Although it always sells out.
It always sells out, and it's branded to the max. It's a young festival. Wellington Waterfront was hopping the whole time, and as much as anything, I was really curious to see how Christchurch musicians were, I guess, covering off what's happened in their hometown.
Sure.
You know, within very recent memory. And there were two performances in particular I wanted to catch for that reason. One was Tiki Tane's performance. He also launched his new record at Homegrown.
Yeah.
And Scribe's performance as well. Scribe's was kind of a heartbreaking set because, he performed strong. He played with Savage. It was one of those sort of versus affairs.
Yeah, cool.
Going head to head with Savage. But in a very honest, raw way, he told the audience that on the Friday, just the day before, he buried his cousin. And it's heavy news to take. He went from that to performing "Say It Again," his collaboration with Tyra Hammond, who is another cousin of his, and he stopped mid-song and said it was too heavy to perform it.
Wow.
It was a lot to take in. And Tiki's performance, he came on stage with this group, the Dub Soldiers, who had members of Shapeshifter in there. And he also had his father on stage, who he's collaborated with on that single Tangaroa, and he's also collaborated on this new record. His father was in hospital having had a hip operation on the Monday before the Tuesday earthquake.
Yeah. And
was asked to vacate his hospital bed on the Tuesday, and there's his father on stage at Homegrown a week and a half later.
Amazing.
On crutches.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
That's something for our public health system right there, I think. That's brilliant.
Shift your ass.
Well, they've done a good job on it, obviously.
Good enough that he's up on crutches a week and a half later,
Okay, and there was perhaps some hits there, or any misses, anything that you thought?
No, misses. I mean, everyone's catered for, you know, but like whether it's a pop artist like Jay Williams or Dana Rumble, right through to Die 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 and Coco Solid. So it's pretty damn cool. You can dip in and out of all of it, and I definitely ticked a lot of boxes. I saw Coco, who I haven't seen in the longest time because she's been living in South Korea for the past year. So it was great to see her perform. I saw the Ruby Sons, and there was a lot of good stuff there. The Clean played.
Yeah, I heard that was a blinder.
Yeah, it was a blinder. And then they were back in Auckland the next day for a set at King's Arms. It was like a Muzai versus Arch Hill affair.
Right. Yeah. Wow, cool. Okay, so that was Homegrown last week. What about this week? Now, on the cover of Groove Guide, MGMT.
MGMT.
Are they back in town? Is that
they're back in town next week for one show at the Power Station and two shows at the Hunter Lounge in Wellington at Victoria University.
Interesting band, because they had those couple of hit singles that were
hits that crossed over to
top 40 sort of stations.
Exactly.
But then they puzzled all those kinds of new fans with that new album where there was no definitive kind of pop single.
Yeah, and I think that was always on the cards. I think those pop singles like Time to Pretend and so on were written a long time ago, and they had they had no dreams of following that up, having more sort of pop hits.
Good on them, because the pressure would have been there from the record company.
Absolutely.
Follow this up, please.
Major label, please give us another ringtone hit.
Yeah.
But they haven't done that, but I still think they made a strong record, and if you listen to the two of them back to back, outside of those singles that lots of people will know, they're coming from the same place,
What venue are they playing at?
They're playing the Power Station.
So that kind of reflects the fact that, they haven't pushed it to that mainstream audience.
Maybe, although they played the Power Station last time,
Yeah.
They're an interesting group also because they have a solid New Zealand connection in terms of the music that they've come up on, especially the Flying Nun catalogue. When they were in town last time, they spun records at a fundraiser for Chris Knox.
Yeah.
And they picked up a bunch of clean records and other things at Real Groovy Records. And
interesting. So that's interesting because so they've obviously been influenced
most definitely.
By that sound, and then they've in turn influenced new bands in New Zealand like The Naked and Famous.
Yeah, no doubt. So it's a passing of the baton. Actually, Chris Knox and The Nothing were to have supported them last time around, I believe. So, yeah. Cool. I expect them to be shopping for maybe stuff from the new Flying Nun catalogue when they're in town this time, right?
Maybe, yeah. They can do that from anywhere in the world now. With
yeah, true, but
being
going
so
to a
digital.
record store's more romantic, you know.
I suppose. And Emerald City is also featured in this week's mag.
Yeah, they were playing when I walked into the studio, actually. They've come through with
it was
their
a new
second
one.
record, their fourth. Yeah. And they are on a huge tour right now. I think 29 dates in that run of shows, which there seems to be a lot of local artists doing that right now, and I love the idea that people will get on the road and really take in all the small towns as well as the main centres, you know.
Yeah, really go. Well, it's nice for them, I suppose, to have that holiday as well, because they've had a pretty harsh winter in Berlin.
In Berlin, yeah, and I believe they're returning there after this tour, so it'd be fantastic to get a break from that.
It's funny, their sound. I would always imagine they'd be hanging out, perhaps at a downtown market in Cairo or something like that.
Yeah, I hear that. Eating dates and
that's right.
Yeah,
Marrakesh or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it feels like if the Doors had gone in an instrumental direction, then maybe they could have veered in Emerald City's path.
That's right. Actually, and talking about them, they haven't added a vocalist at all. They're not.
No, not at
still
all.
on the instrumental thing.
Yeah.
WOMAD, of course, is not too far away.
Yeah, that's right. Are you making the trip down?
No.
I do. Bowler Brooklands.
I should be, though, shouldn't I?
You should do. You should definitely get a WOMAD under your belt. There's a fantastic... Don Letts, actually, the punk reggae man, famous for all his connections in both of those worlds. He's going to be in town. And just the venue alone, the Bowler Brooklands, I think is one of New Zealand's best venues. I've seen some great bands there over the years.
Really special place. And, of course, there will be all kinds of bands from all over the world.
Every corner. We've got an article there on Amadou and Mariam, who folks might have seen on Nick D's Making Track series, the latest one when he went to Paris, and they covered Fat Freddy's Drops, Hope.
I didn't catch that. I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
Oh, it was a fantastic episode. It was a beautiful version they did of that song.
Great, and you say also, there's some great pictures in there as well, including
from a show you saw on Sunday.
I did. Roxy Music.
Well, because they were teamed with Don McGlashan and Nathan Haynes. Was that a?
I didn't catch Nathan Haynes. I caught the end of Don McGlashan. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's a good fit for the audience.
Yeah,
that were there. You know, they were I suppose middle of the road sort of audience. You know, they weren't looking for anything too extreme, so I think it was perfect fit and a great venue in Villa Maria, heaps of space. Huge stage. I think it was like one of the big day out stages. Looked like to me. So it was a really big space. And I
wasn't there, but those photos of Brian Ferry, still dapper.
Yeah,
it's got to be an Armani suit he's rocking there.
I've got to say the visuals of with the two screens in the mixing of the live with pre-recorded sort of visuals was very well done and very advanced, very very technical. I thought, and the sound was good. Yeah,
excellent.
Great, solid gig. So check out the pictures of that as well. And coming up in the next issue, you've got an interview with Anna Coddington.
That's actually a couple of issues off, but basically they are announcing a tour this week. Julia Deans and Anna Coddington are going on the road. Yeah. So like a double bill. And what I'm going to do is get those two musicians to interview each other. So I'm heading around to their record company this afternoon.
Should be interesting.
Asking them to become journalists and pick each other's brains.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, in honour of that, I thought we would go out on an Anna Coddington track, her one called Bolt. She's got a very interesting video for this one as well. Sam Wicks, editor of Groove Guide. We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Here it is, Bolt, Anna Coddington.
To God, thinks of his sweetheart. He left sitting under palm trees. She looks up and sees a strong wind, and she thinks of him.